Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a fabulous Tuesday. Make sure you hit the like button. Let everyone know that we are live. Okay. We are live. And actually, y'all, this was some breaking news regarding Malcolm Jamal Warner. Okay, I was like very shocked by this because, as we all know, not too many, especially celebrities, have spoken up about how they feel regarding the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner. I know that there are a couple, well, probably like a few content creators that are continuing the conversation, especially after some new news has been released. For those of you that may not know, Paperwork Party, he has a channel, and he actually traveled to Costa Rica recently. And so while he was over there, he has been doing a thorough investigation, talking to the police chief, police officers, um, and getting more, information from where it actually happened. Okay. Because some things can get lost in translation. Okay. Welcome, Karen. Thank you so much for joining and for being first in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let everyone know that we are live. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, cash app, and it's at the bottom of the screen, or a coffee, and that link is in the description field of this video. So he actually went there. Now, for people that, and he hasn't given us all of the information that he's found out, but he did go live a couple of times and he shared more information, okay, regarding what happened. We were able to see the actual site where Malcolm Jamal Warner's body was found. No, we noticed that there was like this shrine type of, oh, I just, y'all, that shrine thing really bothered my spirit the way it looked. But I did a live over that, and it's also on his channel as well. And he actually talked to the police chief and one of the other officers that responded to the call. Now, if you aren't aware of that, you're probably still stuck at Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away due to accidental drowning, uh, with asphyxiation due to submersion. You're probably still stuck there. Okay. But if you have not heard the updated information, there are a lot of things that were different from what we were originally told. Okay. Let me also say this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Hi, extra special. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, Miss Josephine. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Cherry. Thank y'all for joining today. And so, what is interesting though, y'all, is although some people may not be aware of the new information that has come up, and I'll kind of go through a brief review and summary of what is different. There is one content creator, y'all may know him, Willie D, and I do follow him and I listen to his some of his lives, and so I saw a lot. Now, this is what's interesting. Some content creators that have not been covering this and talking about it and moved on are now paying attention again. Because I was surprised to even see him bring it up. Okay. Now he still believes that he died to accidental drowning, but he does not know, I don't believe, the new information that people were telling him up under, the video in the comment section. Let's see. Karen said, let's see again. Thank you for keeping us up with the facts and without all the crazy stuff I've seen out there. Right, Karen, you're welcome. Because y'all know I'm not doing any of that. Hey, dreamy girl. Hey, sis. We're going to stick to the facts. Okay. We don't need to make up anything. We stick to the facts. I don't have to sit here and come up with a conspiracy theory because guess what? I have too much other stuff. It's the beginning of the school time, kids, my own job, life, and so forth. What I do believe is that Malcolm Jamal Warner deserves justice in that the facts come out surrounding his death. I do feel that he is at least owed that. Okay, now regardless of whether we get some real answers, we don't know, and even Eddie Griffin is going to say it in the video that we'll listen to. He doesn't think anything will be done about it, even if we do get some answers. And we have been saying that. Okay. So hopefully, some justice will be served, but at least we'll have more of the answers. So a couple of things with Paperwork Party he's already been over to Costa Rica investigating. He shared with us some things that do make a difference with this case. One of the things that he shared was on the beach. Okay, and he showed us the actual beach. There were not a lot of people there. Okay, no lifeguards. They have on one side of the beach like a little lifeguard stand where they have these little floaty things you can throw out there. But we could clearly see on a random day that it wasn't a lot of people out there. And then it's like hidden behind like some woods. Like you got to travel through a little wooded area to get to the actual beach. The water already does look dangerous. Okay. There are signs posted that were warning of drownings and not to go in the water past, knee deep and so forth. And then we found out that, you know how here we have the police, if there was a death or something of that sort, they would do an investigation. Well, there they don't do like thorough investigations like that, forensics and things of that sort. They take notes. Okay. They write down what the people tell them, and that's it. They don't look any further into it. Okay. So based off of what they're told, that was the information that was being put out to the public. Okay. Now, when you're taking notes, people have to go in and interpret what you were saying and so forth. And so some things can get mixed up. Now, one thing that is very important and really stands out is the fact that allegedly, and this is according to the police officers there, that the wife, remember TMZ had reported that she was here in the States. Well, allegedly, she was there when all of this happened with Malcolm, her friend, I don't know if it was the friend's child, a 5-year-old, her daughter, and allegedly, according to her post, there was supposed to be another person, okay, with them. Now, right before Malcolm passed away, okay, this is what was being told to the police officers. The wife, her friend, and the 5-year-old went up through, I guess, the little wooded area to one of the little storefront areas to get something to eat. They left Malcolm and the daughter behind. Okay. Now I'm still trying to figure out why we can't all go get something to eat. Okay. Shout out to Miss Josephine for the super sticker. She said lemon character raising both his thumbs up. Okay. Who is lemon character? Who is that? Thank you so much for being a sponsor for today's live. I appreciate that. And so she stated that within 15 minutes, allegedly, she came back to the beach and Malcolm had already passed away. Okay. Now, The only other person there, or a couple of people there, was her daughter and this man that I don't know if he was the friend, that the fourth person that they found that was in critical condition. Okay. Now, the daughter, they said, is very traumatized, I guess, from what either she experienced or seen with the water, that she doesn't even want to go into the water, allegedly want to be by water. Um, Now, the guy that was in critical condition was taken to a hospital an hour uh, away, okay, which was strange because paperwork man said that there were clinics along the way that were closer. Now, he was sent there in critical condition, but then released by a doctor, Mauricio, that does not even practice at that hospital. His clinic is closer to Limon province, where all of this took place, the Playa Grande area. Okay. Now, he was released on a Wednesday. He went in allegedly on that Sunday, released on a Wednesday. No one has questioned this man, allegedly. Nothing has come out. Where did he go? He has disappeared. Okay. So, from his standpoint, nothing was ever really told. What did he see? What really happened there? Hi, W. Wright. Welcome. The police interfere with the people's investigation. I don't trust them. Okay. Hey, K. Brown. Okay. Like I said, I don't fully trust any of that. Okay. Her words, or sometimes the police get it mixed up too, because y'all know that the police there, that's over the tourist police, were getting into it with the OIJ, kind of like the FBI division, on little details that were told, and said that they were interviewing the family and all of that. And so I'm like, well, why are y'all getting into it? Well, I mean, why can't we be on one accord? Well, if you're not really doing an investigation and you're just taking notes, it's easy to get stuff wrong. Okay. So that was a back and forth that they had there. So I was like, I don't know. Y'all just kind of fighting over what's the daughter in the water or not, but y'all not really looking into the other details surrounding this. Is the wife telling the truth? Okay. Why did they just leave and come right on back and then he was gone? Like, what transpired within that time period? Those are things that people were talking about. And so that stuff came out. So a lot of people, if you don't watch Paperwork Party Man, may not be privy to some of that information. Now, when a person is caught lying, okay, then you start to question other things that are taking place. Because that was one of the things, like, where was his wife? And we're being told she was in the States and she learned of it through a 911 call. Now, when you do things like that, it also breaks the trust of the people, the community. Okay. So then people started wondering, that is suspicious. And that is why the attention started being put onto the wife. For those of you who are wondering, well, why is everyone bringing up his wife? Why are they talking about the wife? Now, another reason that the wife has now come to the forefront is they did not bank on, hi Glenn, welcome, happy Tuesday. They did not bank on the wife's post from Facebook to pop up. Because remember, no one knew who his wife was. Okay. So if you have a random just person posting in a group, a Costa Rica group, then you wouldn't have thought anything of it at the time. It wasn't until after, when people found out her name, is when things started coming out. Now, going through the privacy part, because I know I heard some people under my video say, one lady, I forgot who was, and it's no shade or anything like that. So it's the lady, but it may be other people thinking like this. She said, this is why Malcolm kept his life private, because people were going to be gossiping and doing all this stuff. Okay. Well, do we know if Malcolm wanted to keep his life private because of her? Did she tell him to keep her private? Or was that something that he wanted to do? Okay, because we really don't know. If you think about it, his previous relationships, he didn't keep private. Okay, and those were long-term relationships with those women. This one, oh, and I want to also, golly, I'm gonna pull that. It's a little clip up I want to pull up and show you all. This one, it was a reason why he did not talk a lot about her. And with all of this stuff coming out about her, it makes me question whether she was the one that wanted to remain a secret or private. We can't even get on one accord with the name. She has multiple names, y'all. They said that there is one photo that pops up with the two of them together. Okay. And that is her from an angle on the side, a side profile. Okay. So that's not even facing them forward, not hugged up or anything like that. And yes, that is his right to do that. Now, I would definitely truly understand keeping your child private. Okay. The social media streets, the press, all of that can be a whole different beast when it comes to that. So he wouldn't be the only one. Okay. There are a lot of celebrities that do not put their children into the limelight. And I respect that. Okay. I respect that. I mean, if you think about it, Tyler Perry. Okay. I almost forget that Tyler Perry has a child. Okay, he does not put his son out there in the limelight. There's a discrepancy in every story they put out. Exactly, Karen. Right. Okay, if you think about it, Nelly and Ashanti, okay, they have a whole reality show. They have not put their child's face out there. He had a whole first birthday party. They still haven't put his face out there. So I get that. I'm just shocked that a whole wife would not want anyone to know name. You're not in pictures. Now, even what's odd too, y'all, because I know some people were wondering, is the baby really his and all of that. I'm not getting into any of that. And I do believe that she is. I know that there was a photo that he shared when she was pregnant. His wife was pregnant. And even in the photo, baby, it was cut off. Okay. Even when he shared that photo, the whole heads were gone. Okay. So all you could see was him rubbing, holding her hands, and you could see her stomach. You could not see her face. Hi, Princess Allison. Welcome. Okay. So that makes me question, did this girl, it's almost like Charlie's Angels. Okay. We never saw Charlie, but we knew Charlie was there. Okay, we knew he was married, but we never knew who he was married to. Okay, so after seeing some of this stuff that was just taking place, it just made people wonder, were they married? And that part matters in as far as like if something foul did happen, like foul play, and if she was somehow involved, being married could be a possible motive in certain circumstances, and then not being married could matter in other circumstances, okay, as far as motive. Because with a person with, and I think I was looking at another channel, Miss Lowdown, she has another channel, and I think she even mentioned that she had like 17 different profiles. Like, why do you need all those profiles? What are all of the different names about? Okay, because although we came to know her as Tenisha Torres, there's also a Tenisha Hancock, okay, that is on a lawsuit with, and all of this is public information, that's on a lawsuit with Malcolm, okay, that they have filed against a doctor, an OBGYN, and a hospital. But that's under a different name. So it's like someone said, you filing lawsuits under one name. None of them are your married, like Warner. None of them. And so that just found that very strange. Let's see. Princess said, estranged Malcolm Jamal Warner kept his wife and daughter private. Right. And we were just saying that. And like I said, I respect his decisions to do that. It was just a lot of this coming out now. And the daughter part, hey, do that, because sometimes you do have to keep your kids hidden when you are famous like that. Hi, Janet. Welcome. But the wife part, and there's no pictures out there. Now, of course, their close family and friends would know about who she is and how far. And really, to be honest, just because you are friends with her and him and you've been over to their home or maybe you've seen them out, how much do people really know about her? Okay, this is something that only they could answer. Like his co-host, Candace Kelly. She said that she was close to Malcolm and his wife to the point that they were like family. How much do you really know about that person? Okay, besides a name and some general information. That part, okay? Because it's a lot of things that are very, very suspicious right now. So I had someone, and I'm not gonna say who, but they have access to be able to look a little deeper into some things, because that was kind of weird to me that when I did my own research, and remember I told y'all I was trying to see if they were really married, because a lot of people questioned that. They were like, well, were they really married? And I was like, I never thought about that. And I said, well, let me see. But when I did look it up, I could not find like a public like certificate or anything like that. Like it didn't show anything pulling up. So after my source did a little research, what they did learn was that Malcolm Jamal Warner, and forgive me for my video earlier, y'all. Some people just were not, they were not feeling the music. Okay. I apologize. I said, let me repeat what I said, because some people may not have heard me and all that. My husband even said, what kind of music is that? I was trying something different. So I said, sometimes some stuff just does not work. You regroup and try it a different way. Okay. So my apologies. I bet Keisha and I pull your notes. His wife and daughter name is, yes. Yes, she has been over to their house, and their daughters are very close too. He has mentioned that. Hi, Mrs. E. Welcome. Before I talk about the other part, let me pull up. It was a video that I wanted to show y'all. I should have already had this pulled up. Okay. I think this is it. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen right quick. Make sure y'all tap the like button. Let everyone know that we are live. And I agree, W. Wright. W. Wright said, whenever a spouse loses their life with questionable circumstances, the other spouse is usually a suspect. And hence why I believe she needed or felt she needed an alibi. Okay. Which was one, the alibi that we heard here in the States was she was supposed to have been over here in the States, and she got the news by a phone call. Okay. The alibi over there in Costa Rica was she had gone to get something to eat. Okay. So pick an alibi. Pick one. Which one was it, Tenisha? Okay, we're confused. Which one was it? But yes, you have a very good point when it's questionable. And I feel that that was one of the reasons why it was told to us that she was here, because if the word goes around here that she was actually there, then people probably would have taken a second guess as to, oh, what really happened. His wife was over there. Where was she at during that time? So because we were questioning that at first, that's when we got the information from TMZ that she was here. I don't know if y'all paid attention to the timing of that. It wasn't right away that they stated that. They stated the phone call situation after people had been questioning where was his wife, what happened with his daughter afterwards. That's when the part came out that, oh, his wife was over here in the States and she learned about what happened through a phone call. But those of you who don't know, when Paperwork Man was over there interviewing the police chief, they stated that the wife was there. She had just walked away for 15 minutes to go get something to eat. And then that's when she came back and found him unalive. Okay. So you have a very good point. Let's see here. Hey, Rebecca, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hi, it is what it is. Shout out to Amanda. Welcome, girl. We are halfway through the show. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. So allegedly, Princess Allison, it was for, they were saying a family vacation at first, then it went to a homeschool type of program. Well, earlier, Tanisha had made a post allegedly, over there on Facebook back in February saying that she wanted to go and do a homestay and volunteer at this program called Finca Soil E Finca Soil, y'all, it's a Spanish name, Finca Soil E de Valle. I think that's what it's called. And then she over there, when we looked up that place, it is a camp that offers various type of educational, it's like a community place where they just believe in doing things, with the environment and planting your own foods and, creating a community with education. So it wasn't like your typical thing where you just go and learn about a whole homeschool program. Okay. So I don't know if he really knew what he was going into when he went over there. That's the whole thing. I don't know if it was presented to him in a way of, oh, we want to better our daughter's education. I know of a place that they give, good resources. They teach you about X, Y, Z and all of that. I don't know. Okay. All we knew was a family vacation and a homeschool program. Okay. And then lo and behold, this place pulls up, but it's all kind of weird stuff that they do at this place. Okay. I said Malcolm had no business over there. Oh my gosh. And then today when Paperwork Party Man, he was doing a video where he was going through the area and showing us Costa Rica, downtown and so forth. Child, I said, it's no way Malcolm should have been over at that place. It just looked scary. The part that he was driving through, it looked like you would stand out. Really, I'm going to just say any black person, especially if you got some money, okay, probably need an escort, security. And I ain't trying to be funny. It's no shade, but I'm just saying. Okay, take me to the resort. Where was the resort at? That's what we needed to know. That's what he needed to be at, okay, for his status. Not over here doing all this. We don't know these people, okay? So it was just, oh my gosh. Let's see. Shout out to Jay. Oh my goodness, that's gifted 10 memberships. Oh my God, Jay, thank you so much and for being a sponsor for today's live. Okay, let's see. Congratulations. It is what it is. Felicia Franklin, PM Teresa, Shailene, NYC Girl, Black Butterfly, V, Mrs. Dotson, and Regina. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Jay, and welcome. You were already family, but now you are a member. Shout out to Jay. Okay. Hi, Willie Mae. Welcome. Yeah. Shout out to Good Vibes. Welcome. That's her story. She told the police it could be a lie. Exactly. Okay. Exactly. Because how do we know? And if they don't check into things, because my thing would be, well, did anybody go speak to the restaurant? Okay. When she came up here, did she order some food? Those would have been my questions. Okay, we got questions. So yeah, no, I doubt if they looked into all that because I have a lot of questions I would have been asking. How long did she stay up here? What did they talk about? You got cameras in here? Did anyone else come up here? Did y'all have cameras that pointed to the back? You know what I'm saying? And they probably don't. She stepped away with just enough time for her friend's husband to push into a current in the water. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, Amanda. I want to know what happened to the other man. Okay. Were they a part of the group? Because she had said 4 people, 4 adults were coming and 2 children. Did the 4th person ever come? And was the 4th person the Nicaragua guy that was in critical condition? That's what I'm curious to know. Yes, those streets look shady. Right. Okay, it is what it is. I'm telling you. Take me to the resort. Okay. I believe Malcolm fought for his life. He didn't go peaceful. I believe that 2 good vibes. I'm telling you. It's so sad. Oh, y'all, I really don't even want to think that, but I just don't think it was just something he just gave up without a fight. And who's to say it could have been a fight for his daughter too, because she was there. She had to witness all of this. The paperwork found out when Malcolm Jamal. Oh no, he didn't. And you know what, Princess Allison, that was one of my questions too. I went on his panel one night and I said, "Have you heard of when the funeral was?" He was trying to guess that possibly during Malcolm's birthday. I don't know. Shout out to Good Vibes for the super chat. She said video game controller dances goofily under the word woot. What does that mean? And thank you for being a sponsor for today's live. Video game controller dances goofily under the word woot. Okay, I'm gonna have to see that. Y'all, are y'all fooling me with these super chats today? These comments are different today. Okay, thank you so much. Rebecca, it could be for a variety of reasons. We're gonna get into something that I found out too, but it could be a variety of reasons. Okay, was it hey to get as I should say get access to certain things or assets. Okay, it could be a variety. We don't know what they were going through. Now, I have heard, like I said, now this part would be gossip or rumor because I haven't seen any evidence of that. And I don't really like speaking on stuff if I don't have evidence of it. But, I have heard that he allegedly had changed his will. Now, if that would be the case, then she would be suspect number 1 for real. Okay, but I don't know about that. I have not seen any proof of that. Okay, hi TTV. This whole thing is suspicious. Exactly. That is correct. This part has come up a lot too. A lot of people were asking who is that mutual friend? Because that is another little puzzle piece there. How well did that friend know her? Okay. Did that friend have any ulterior motives? Okay. How long did he know the friend? Where did the friend meet her? It's so without us even knowing that, but those would be questions if we knew who this friend was. It's a lot of friend, 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 even through the articles, friend. She went with a friend. We don't know who any of these people are. No names, no initials, or anything. So even in this, he said a mutual friend connected them. Check that out. He was in a point where he was not trying to date. He had just told the friend that he's taking a break. The friend seems like he's trying to get this really going. Okay. I would have checked the motives of what are your motives? How come you're not dating her? Was the friend married? Okay. And then talking about this could be a good spiritual connect. Okay. So it's like you have to be careful of that. If you have a vision for your life and what you're trying to do in a certain season, you have to be careful on people that come and try to persuade you differently. Okay. Because it may not be what you think that it is. It really is. I believe he was deceased before being taken into the water. Me too. At some point, yes. Or it could have possibly happened during that time, but what happened during that time? That's the key. Who else was out there? How did it really go down? That it could be one or the other. Now, how is that great? I would have been like, deuces, because some stuff would be considered a deal breaker. If you are now in this frame of mind where you're on a different path right now, you're focused, you have some big things going on, and you're telling the person that you're on a date with that I am not having kids. Okay. He had his mind made up that he did not want kids, but this other person is telling you, I want kids. Then to me, I probably would have been like, well, this doesn't even need to go any further because we're on two different wavelengths. Because what's going to come after that? After that is if we do start fooling around, and I've already told you I don't want kids, guess what? You saying you do? She's going to make sure a kid comes. Okay. And guess what? You are the Malcolm Jamal Warner. Okay. That would have been my thing. That would have been a huge red flag or a deal breaker. Like, no way. Bye-bye. I don't even want to talk to this one. Okay, because I ain't trying to do kids right now. Yes, I wouldn't push a friend into dating if they told me that we're not dating at the time. Exactly. Okay. That was strange of the friend to push it. Hey, Brittany, good evening. Welcome. Right. Good vibes. I feel the same way. He's wearing the wedding ring on the wrong finger. Wait a minute, not the wrong finger. Is the video backwards?
This will
Now I
not
gotta
turn into
look.
anything. We could
No, it
actually
looks like
just
the
be
right one.
friends.
You gotta give it some time. I once had someone tell me when you're dating and you're really trying to get serious with someone, go through some various seasons of life. Okay, kind of see how they operate under stress, operate when they have everything, kind of operate when they lose something. How do they react? How do their families or their friends talk about them? Do they ever go and see their parents? Because just like in 5 months, y'all, people can put up a good front for 5 months. They really can. They can send their representative out. You're the real them, and you'll never know everything about a person before you get married. It's just not, because life happens and things like that. But you want to kind of give it some time. So 5 months was very fast to kind of change your mind. And we don't know during that time, what conversations were had and all of that. But it only took 5 months, and hey, he changed his mind.
Being able to build.
Interesting. So he said that she is Black and Puerto Rican. And they, in 10 years, allegedly, well, according to him, he said they did not ever fight, argue, or anything of the sort. W. Rice said, you once mentioned that he had plumbing issues that kept him out of his house. That is espionage called a black bag job. His enemies were likely listening to him and conspired against him. Oh, yes, that came from, thank you for bringing that back up. That came from Candace Kelly, because she has stated during her interview that he was in the middle of so many things, in the middle of life, in the middle of coming back to his house after a pipe had burst, I guess, or broke. And so, yes, so you're thinking that during that time, someone could have done something, planted something there, or listened. I don't know. But I do remember her saying that. It's great because he didn't want to date anyway. Okay, that's why I was wondering, but then he had changed his mind about the kids within 5 months, but he said they were together for 10 years. I was just about to ask that. Who was the mutual friend? Right. Exactly. Okay. Who was that mutual friend? How much did he know about that person? Okay. Hi, Marie. Welcome. Yeah, he should have just walked away from that. Okay. If I missed saying hello, I apologize. Oh no, you're fine. You thought he sounded immature during that part. You know, I'm gonna be honest. He reminds me so much of one of my uncles, one of my stepfather's brothers. Um, he was always the cool uncle, and he dated, a lot of women, and we came to love them. He got married, got a divorce, got married, got a divorce, now dating again. It's almost like I don't think he really knows. Either he has commitment issues or just does not know what he is looking for, or it could be him some work that maybe he has to do. But even in his long-term relationships, I wonder, because he was talking about that, like he wasn't quite doing what he should from his mouth. It seemed like he was trying to work on himself and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe if this girl doesn't give pushback or push it, the situation, you're kind of comfortable in that. Because I know, we're not gonna argue and all this. You could do your thing, I do my thing, and stuff like that. They were friends. So it may have been a little easier for him. The first real big argument will tell you a lot about a person. If they will cuss you out, put hands on you. Exactly. Okay, goodbyes. We're going to get into it. Okay. Okay. I believe it got married. That wasn't legal. Uh-oh. Hi, Diamond Star. Welcome. How old is she? Oh, how old is she? Let me see. I forgot, y'all. Let's see. I don't know if this is the right one. I don't know. I need to make sure, because y'all, it's a couple of people that had that name. I think she was in her late 20s. No, sorry. 47 allegedly. Okay, there it is. 47 allegedly. He's wearing that wedding ring. I didn't see it on the wrong finger. I saw it on the left. The left on the wedding ring finger. His mom could have had some influence in wanting a child, possibly. Sounds like more of a casual arrangement. Okay, Karen. Malcolm was smart. Every state he resided in does not recognize common law marriage. Okay. I feel like the friend was pushing him into dating. I feel like that too. Okay. So then going back to what we were talking about before I showed that, because I wanted to give y'all a little background as far as what he stated. And I had someone look into that. So the first research that they found out was Malcolm Jamal Warner allegedly has held residences in California, New Jersey, Georgia, and New York. And none of those states recognize common law marriage, okay? Because some people were saying, I don't think they really got married, but they may have been common law. Now, we have heard about him definitely living in California and Georgia. And allegedly she lives in Georgia as well. So if they were common law, that's not upheld, through the state. They don't recognize common law. You need to really be married. Okay. Also, he stated that it does not appear that Malcolm has ever been legally married. Okay. And to take it a step further, he has an office in Beverly Hills, California, which lists him as a single man. Okay, you know how they ask you, okay, are you married? You have to write that like you're doing a mortgage. a married woman, single man. Now, if he was married, he would have put married man, okay, on his business. And then another thing to note was that as for Tenisha Hancock, she really only had, other than listing one of the properties as her primary residence, there was nothing in her name in terms of ownership. Okay, allegedly. Now, some of the other stuff I'm gonna save for later. I just kind of want to talk about that part with this information that we're talking about today. So, yeah, I'm really not sure, y'all, if they were married. It's no public record of a marriage. It could have been, some people, my wife been together, they had the child, and asked that and had some rings. But as far as it being a just legal marriage between the two, there's no public record of that. Okay. Shout out to Dreamy Girl. Thank you, sis. I think Tanisha pushed the friend to pursue him for her. Uh-oh. That's a possibility too, Amanda. Okay. Hi, Aries LaRue. Thank you for joining. Just got here, but we'll watch the beginning later. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hi, Jasmine. She lives in California. Well, she may have moved there too, because I know he has a home there. But at one point, it said that they resided in Georgia. Okay, because even under some of the addresses, there was a Georgia address, so she could have lived there and in Atlanta. Okay, over in Georgia and California. So yeah, they could have possibly been moving around. Okay, she doesn't live. They live separately. Well, one of the Atlanta, Georgia addresses was under her name too. So, as far as one of her addresses, I should say. Let's see. There is no wedding pictures. That's what people were asking. So far, none have surfaced. No. So, yes, y'all, that part is okay. Alleged that they were not just officially married. Now, the other part and thing I wanted to talk about in regards to Malcolm Jamal Warner update. Now, a lot of content creators have been discussing this as far as the new information and the I guess the questions that we have surrounding his death. We have not seen any celebrities talking about this. Okay, everyone's pretty much gone quiet. Now, I do know that on some tribute that they had on his podcast, the Not All Hood podcast, there was one of his fellow, the nurse that worked with him on the Resident. When she first came on there, she did mention, and she didn't go too deep into it, but she was like, man, I just really hate seeing his name, out in these articles so much that they're saying. You could tell she was a little bothered by all of the different stories coming out. So recently, as of yesterday, I don't know if y'all remember Malcolm and Eddie. It was a show that he was on with Eddie Griffin, right? And right now, Eddie Griffin, he's doing, I don't know if it's a tour or if he was just doing comedy at a certain club one night yesterday. And during that segment, y'all, he brought up Malcolm Jamal Warner's death. No other celebrities have been brave enough, even if they have questions about it, have said anything publicly to question what has happened. Good Vibe said if she is not a beneficiary, then his daughter and mother are next of kin. The insurance company will ask her to produce a marriage certificate. Exactly that part. Okay, which goes into this because I know there have been some speculation. Now this other part, nobody really knows the truth on it or anything like that, so it could just be speculation. But people were like, if she did get some money, okay, in exchange for him being brought there, that could be a way for her to get access to some money, because if she's not a beneficiary or in a will or his legal wife, okay? Which also, let me say this too, because we're going to get into this another time at another time as well. Hey D, welcome. Thank you for joining. If you go on to Google and do some research, not just Facebook, it does show Georgia as one of her places residences. Now, at the time of him passing away and so forth, I can't say which home she lived in, but she has, not just California. Okay, there are other places that she has lived besides there. And so, dog, what was I saying, y'all? Let me see what was the other comment before that. Thank you for joining, D. Oh, okay. Woo, thank you. Now, the lawsuit. Okay. So I was thinking about that lawsuit, and we're gonna get into that at another time. I believe that was one way of her potentially trying to get some money. Okay. Now, something else that I noticed with that lawsuit, it still shows status open. It was last updated last year in April. Okay. I thought the lawsuit was closed in 2020. So why are they still updating that lawsuit? That's what I want to know. What updates have been made on that lawsuit, and why is it still showing open? Okay. Hi, Keisha. Welcome. He said his wife is Black and Puerto Rican. Yes, that's what he said. Okay, thank you so much. We're getting there too. Okay, thank you. It is what it is for bringing me back. But I wanted to make that point about that lawsuit. Okay, that could have been one way of getting some money when that did not work out in her favor. Now, of course, he still has money and things of that sort. Now, he also mentioned in this interview one of his concerns that if things didn't work out, he didn't want a person to get half of his money. Did y'all hear him say that? Okay. He didn't want that person to get half of his money, which could have been a reason why he didn't make that thing legal. Okay. He said that out of his own mouth during that interview. Did y'all, anyone put a one if you remember him just saying that in this last interview I just showed? Don't make me be out here thinking I'm crazy. Because I thought he just said that he was nervous about it not working out, about him messing up, and a person would get half of his money. Okay, he's a Leo, very overbearing. She wanted to pursue acting. I don't think she liked being so private. Okay. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. His TV show Malcolm in. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Oh my, I didn't hear him say. I'm gonna have. Thank you, Tracy. I'm not by myself. I told y'all to pay attention. Okay. Wait a second. Hold up. Y'all, I gotta at least just play that little part so y'all hear, because that makes sense. Okay, it just hit me. That could have been. Hold on 1 second. I'm on to that part. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find just that portion in that interview, because that could be a reason it was not legal. Maybe he did not want that person, if it didn't work out, to get half his money. Oh my God. Okay, so I have some more. Okay, my comments are stuck over here. Okay, good. Ooh, I thought I was going crazy, y'all. I'm looking for that part. When people weren't in. Okay, let me pull this back up right quick. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I must be in denial. I don't hear. Okay. Okay, that's too funny. I said, y'all pay attention to this part. I have some people that did hear it though.
Because I mean, obviously, then a follow-up question.
Don't bother me, but I'll find it. I'll find it. I'm gonna keep going. But he did mention on that interview. You know what I'm gonna do? For those of you who weren't in here, because I have some ones in the chat. They were in here with me, and they did hear it. Hold on one second. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me share the link into the chat, okay? And during your time, that's your homework. Those of y'all that came late, okay? Okay, it doesn't say he's married. Right, exactly. Then y'all can catch up with that portion, okay, where he said that he didn't want to mess up and have to divide his money up with someone else. Okay, it's up in there. Okay, so I put the link there because I want y'all to catch it. All right, let's see. Karen said, unless she was madly in love, that's a lot of years with someone, and they not marry you, especially with a child, unless she figured she'd be able to live lavishly with him. Possible. That's possible. Hey, Uncle Troy, welcome. Thank you for joining. I believe that most rich people fear someone taking half. Right. And it's in there. Just go back when you get a chance and look at that full video. Tracy was in here. Some more people were in here. Yes. So I think that could have been a part of why it could have possibly not been legal. Okay. We just doing our thing. Okay. Notice he didn't want kids and he told her to get on birth control pills at one point too. Okay. Thank you, Jasmine. Y'all know, look, I don't want it to be like I'm putting stuff in people's mouths. All right, so y'all, let's get into this next video. So, like I was saying, no celebrities have spoken up. Eddie Griffin was his not co-host, but worked on Malcolm and Eddie. You know, they did a show together. And I heard, things that they didn't get along back then and things like that. I mean, it really didn't come across on the show to me. I like the show. But I guess, things just weren't all that in their personal lives with one another. But he spoke on Malcolm's death. Okay. Now, hi, authentic lady. Let me pull it up and we're going to get into this video.
Bill Cosby's son. But both his sons are dead. Cosby did something dirty. His real son dead, nigga, and his TV son dead. That's the connection, nigga. I don't believe that man drowned. I don't. But it ain't gonna fix shit. But nigga, it's too suspicious. They had too many different stories. Him and his daughter was out there swimming early in the morning. How come the mama wasn't there? Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, just so happens to be a doctor on the beach. And then his daughter was not in the water. She was on the beach watching her father swim. Somebody make it make sense to me. Now, nigga, I'm trying to figure out what they want to kill him for. He's the nicest motherfucker on earth.
Wow. Okay. Y'all, that thing there blew my mind because it was almost like he'd been watching some of the lives over here. Okay. He said, why would they want to kill him for? He was one of the nicest guys on the earth. And he said, make it make sense. Okay. What was his wife? And then the daughter, she's supposed to be there watching him swim. He said it was too many stories out there. Okay, right. I'm glad he did too. He was the first one to speak out. Now, of course, he's gotten some criticism for his statements because there are people who are, here they go saying, oh, it's just people come with these conspiracy theories, and all of that. But are you actually thinking this thing through? Okay. A lot of people are just going with the news that was put out. But I did a live this morning, and that was mainly about how Albie Shore had, got an email that was supposed to have been sealed where it was sent to Diddy, okay, talking about paying off 27 media outlets to scrub, delete things surrounding Kim Porter's death. And even stated that the National Enquirer, the Enquirer, was waiting on their $50,000 had the wire been sent. So the media can be controlled. Okay. They can be controlled. They know what narratives to put out there, when to back off. Notice TMZ has gotten quiet. They were there. And to be honest, y'all, I even had to think about, y'all know that last photo in that little short video that we saw of Malcolm leaving the airport? I thought about something one day. I said, hold up. I don't even think that was TMZ that did that. Okay, I would have had to go back a little further. Okay, Doki, I may, after we talk about this part, I may actually go back to it. I don't even think they did that. And the reason, the audience didn't believe it either. Amanda, did you catch that? And I'm going to replay it again in a second. Some people in the audience was like, y'all know how we do. Like they know something is up too. Okay. But you could tell when TMZ catches people at the airport, what do? You can hear cameras flashing. They talking to the person. They're asking questions. The person trying to get out the way or hiding. Okay. This particular one, it looked like someone had been watching Malcolm and they looked at a lower position, trying to hide, get in the video, or catching him off guard, taking the picture, and then probably send it in to TMZ. Okay. I believe Eddie, I think someone unalived him. The story sounds fishy. Exactly. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Let everyone know we are live. If you would like to support the live, you are welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, or a cash app, and that is scrolling on the screen. They recorded something that he said privately. Right. Exactly. And so people, I don't know who was here at this comedy show that recorded it, and it's just gone viral. They shared it, and now it's getting around, y'all. Okay. Eddie obviously is not afraid because he said this in a public place. He is the main one that has said something. None of the other celebrities, regardless of how they may feel that something is off, has not said anything. It's sad because the prophet who predicted Malcolm's death last year also said Eddie would be unalive too. Oh, I pray not, Lord. I didn't even see that. I heard about it, but I haven't seen that. Wow. Yes, he did say that he said he didn't want someone to take what the F he worked for. Oh, okay. Thank you, Doki. I was like, wait, when did Eddie say that? I had to think about what you were talking about. You're talking about when we were looking for that snippet of Malcolm. I was about to say, when did Eddie say that? Oh my goodness, I had to come back. Bring it on back. Okay, got you. Okay, thank you. See, he did say that. So I wonder with the wife, y'all, was that a concern? Was that a concern? And so Wow, I was shocked. So let's play that again for those of you who just came in, so y'all can hear everything he said again.
Bill Cosby's son. But both his sons are dead. Cosby did something dirty. His real son dead, nigga, and his TV son dead. That's the connection, nigga. I don't believe that man drowned. I don't. But it ain't gonna fix shit. But nigga, it's too suspicious. They had too many different stories. Him and his daughter was out there swimming early in the morning. How come the mama wasn't there? That's number one. Number two, just so happens to be a doctor on the beach. And then his daughter was not in the water. She was on the beach watching her father swim. Somebody make it make sense to me. Now, nigga, I'm trying to figure out what they want to kill him for. He's the nicest motherfucker on earth.
Wow. And did y'all hear the other part at the beginning? He said that Bill Cosby's real son and TV son are dead. He said, who did he make mad? Okay. He brought that up too. Now that really showed he ain't scared. I'm like, ooh, because y'all, it's some more celebrities that feel this way. It's some more. And then we even stated, oh, they have all of these doctors on the beach. Well, when you look at the video of the beach on just a normal, even just a random day, there are no people really chilling on the beach. It doesn't even look like that type of water that you want to just go and play in. The water is just moving so quickly. It just looks very just dark there. Like no one would want to go swimming there. It's by the woods. Okay. You have to pretty much go through the woods. And even y'all, Bill Cosby, when the news hit, he did respond. And he said that it felt like when his son passed away or got killed. That's how he said it felt all over again. And now both of his sons are gone. The TV son and his real life sons are gone. That came out of Bill Cosby's mouth. It felt like when his son, when he got that news, it felt the same way like when he got the news that his son had got killed. And you know, I also find it odd, y'all, that Felicia Rashad has not spoken out. His mom has not spoken out. And I do get the privacy aspect of it. I understand that. But I'm just so surprised, which makes me wonder, you know, I know certain things can get tied up into rumors and all of that, but we have heard that they were possibly looking into their own investigation. So I wonder, have they looked into it? Now, although Tenisha could have tried to hide that from the public, that she wasn't there, what has she told them? What has she told his mother? Did she tell his mother that she was still there? And, excuse me, another person that I really wish would speak up would be his co-host, Candace Kelly, because she stated that Malcolm sent her this 5-page paragraph, I keep saying page, 5-paragraph email while he was on the plane. And she stated that allegedly she was talking to him every day leading up to the day of his death. And I think she stopped, or he stopped, you know, contacting her the day before he passed away. So during that time, did he share any information that could have potentially pointed someone to something being off there? or just not quite right. Maybe some people he met. Where were they staying? Like she would have information, clues. Did his tone sound different? And she hasn't even spoken up. Like, where's his wife and daughter now? Have they came back to the US? So those are things to think about. That could be why we have not heard of a funeral from his mom and all of that. They could be trying to get all this together. Okay, because if you don't have a wife and child, okay, you know that he's a big celebrity. That's going to look questionable. I don't think it was TMZ that filmed him because TMZ did not go to where people board the plane. You can't get to that point in an airport unless you present a plane ticket to TSA. Exactly, Jasmine. That is a good point. That's why I didn't think about it at first. But I was like, y'all, TMZ, I do not think they took that picture or recorded him right there. Okay. And then check this out. Something else I just thought about. How come they did not share that information until after he had passed away? Okay. They didn't share the video and the photo until after he passed away. How come they did not share that as one of their reports, like, oh, we bumped into Malcolm Jamal Warner, or we saw Malcolm Jamal Warner at the airport, you know, how they do these other celebrities. We saw that after the fact. Y'all just got someone had been recording him and taking a picture. Y'all need to check out who sent that to you. Were they following him? Because it looked like they were trying to be inconspicuous and hide so that he wouldn't see them. Okay? Like, that's something to think about as well. Let's see here. Hi, Sheila. Eddie has talked about Hollywood elites for a while. If a black actor goes against the machine, then you get blackballed. It's like fighting a political war in Hollywood. Videos are on YouTube. Yes, I believe that. Yep, I believe that. That's why a lot of them stay quiet. I think the mom will speak out after she lays her son to rest. I believe she will call for an investigation. I hope so. I really do hope so. I don't know if they brought his body back to the U.S. And supposedly, I think when Paperwork Man has spoken to the chief, he stated that allegedly the body had already been released to the family and was sent back to the U.S. So I don't know. It was probably the friend or husband's video. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, that is weird. It had to have been someone that was sneaking to take the photo in the video. Right. It was weird how as soon as he died, boom, here's a video of Malcolm. What a coincidence. This was a setup. That's what I'm saying, Jasmine. That's what I'm talking about. Like, why? Like, who sent that? Okay. Who sent that? Because, okay, think about this. We did not know at the time he was in that airport that he was not going to make it home. No one else would have thought that either, unless they knew something was up. To take that picture and video, so then they would have something to give TMZ to say, oh, this was the last video. We have exclusive footage. We have this photo and this video of Malcolm's last time he was seen before his death. No one knew he was going to be unalived. Okay, so y'all already had that weight. That's crazy. That was a good point. They targeted Bill because he has oil on his property and wouldn't allow them to drill, excuse me, drilled for oil and was about to purchase a television station. His son's demise was the beginning of shady business. Wow. And that is sad. Thank you, Shelley. Yep, that's sad. Malcolm saw that he was being followed. His common law white man, not the common law white. I'm telling you, because I do not think that it was legal. Okay. There is no legal paperwork showing that they were officially married. I believe the friend knew too. Okay, just like we can pretty much probably say that when she planned that February, she said she was going with her friend, a 5-year-old, 8-year-old. I think they went and scoped out everything first, then came back because it said 4 adults, 2 children in July. Okay, so they went and scoped everything out. Whew, it's just so sad. I'm trying to find this part. Let's see here. I was trying to find that little part we got off, but yeah, let's see. His daughter's demise also faced with ethics. She suddenly passed after she was supposed to have been on. Mm, wow, I never thought about that. His daughter, I forgot he had a daughter that passed away. I actually forgot about that. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. It makes you wonder, a lot of people wanted him still in jail. And then, sometimes people just want you to pay for what you've done, one way or the other. Let me see, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Oh, I think I found it. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me share my screen for those of you who want to see that part. Let's see here what y'all seeing. High lineage first. What if he had someone take that picture of him because he knew he was entering a shaky situation? Who is that white man in that one photo of him in the airport? We don't know. But it just looked like he was it didn't seem like it was like he was standing there like, hey, take the picture, something like that. It looked like they were catching him where he wasn't looking or paying attention in that moment, in my opinion. I also found it odd how the wife posted on Facebook her daily itinerary in Costa Rica when Malcolm was so private. Right, exactly. I agree. In the last video Malcolm did in the car, he wore his wedding ring on his first finger. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Sheila. Wow. Oh, okay. She died with pneumonia. Bill Cosby's daughter. Whomever filmed him, they have more footage showing who he was traveling with. Oh, yes. Good vibes. Yes. Okay. Now that is a good point. Where's the other footage? Oh my goodness. Because they were very careful because it did show according to immigration records, that Malcolm, his wife, and daughter entered Costa Rica, okay, on July 13th. So this person, whoever took the photo and recorded, were very careful about Malcolm's daughter and wife and whoever else they were with not be shown. But who's to say they don't have that other information or other photos? Wow. Ooh, y'all, man, y'all are on it. Okay. She was posting way too many details about her trip on social media. What person closely connected to a celeb does that? It was a public post. Yes, it was. And that's true. I agree. That was crazy. I'm running to that last video. Wedding ring on her first finger, on his first finger. Wow. Yeah, facts. Okay. Okay, they tried to bankrupt him for the resources. Yep, I can believe that. It's like the all edge wife was giving info to the killers on her Facebook page. Yep. Y'all got Nick. Let's see. It was odd to me that no one looked into the camera when he was at the airport. Exactly, because I believe they were sneaking to take the picture. People around him didn't act like a star was near no one else taking pics. It was odd. And to be, I mean, to be honest though, if they were going to Costa Rica now, some people know him probably over there, but I don't think they really knew who he was until they did some identification, or maybe the wife identified who he was. But I definitely don't think many people over in Costa Rica knew who he was. And then once they found out he was a celebrity, they were probably like, oh my goodness. Okay, don't be upset with me. Oh no, we won't be upset, K-Day. But I think he really drowned, but he did supposedly have a huge trust that she'll inherit along with his baby girl. Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's a possibility that he could have drowned, but it's the things surrounding, like, why would he go into that water if he was left with just his daughter? Okay, if you were to see video footage of that water, the water itself looks so dangerous. It just doesn't make sense that Malcolm would walk into that water like that. And there are signs everywhere telling you possible drowning, not to go in past your knee. He just seemed like a smarter man. Okay, I don't know. It just, that part just doesn't make sense to me on that. And then also, did they find water in his lungs? Now, that place, they do not do thorough investigations. It seems like they found him around the water, in the water, okay, and immediately said it was drowning. He was submerged under the water, and wrote that because they take notes. They don't do investigations. They take notes. So then when you go over and they come and get his body, oh, he died of, it must have been an accidental drowning. Yeah, go ahead. He was submerged under the water. What do they call that when you can't breathe? Put that down there as well. But did they check to see, was it water in his lungs? Was there a struggle? Any bruises on his body? Did he have anything in his system? Like, how thorough did they go? And something tells me not thorough. Okay. So it was already settled what the reason of the cause, I should say, of his death, even before they did the autopsy. All they did was write down what they told them, but who actually looked into it? They got the autopsy within 2 days. Okay, so no one really probably looked into that. They don't even have the equipment. Okay, the Red Cross is their ambulance. They don't even have the resources and things over there to do thorough investigations. You know who did witness some things? His baby girl. And they said that the baby is traumatized. Okay, which, hey, rightfully so. So who's going to push her to answer all of these different questions? That baby could have possibly blocked some stuff out, and she doesn't want to talk about it. Right, Jasmine, possibly. Hey, Lolo. Hey, sis. Okay. Okay, so you saw it too, the water. Mm-hmm. It just makes him look like, oh, he was defiant. He went against the grain. He's in this foreign country and, about to just walk into and swim in some water with his little girl up on the shore by herself. Because remember, the mom said she left with the friend and the other little girl or whoever, the 5-year-old. She left Malcolm and the daughter. Now, didn't mention if the other guy was a part of their party. Okay. And when she came back 15 minutes later, he was gone. He had passed away. So the daughter knows what really happened. Okay, that Nicaraguan man, is he the same man that showed up at Kim? Okay, Dokie. Okay. Hey. But why do we keep traveling to these places where they don't care about us? Yes. Okay. I'm not. Because, baby, they have scared me. And definitely don't even want to go with a group of people, whether you call them friends or not. Now you don't even want to go with your spouse. This is crazy. I mean, that same thing with Shanquella. Okay, go over there and they making up a lot. They told okay, y'all, case in point. The other group, the rest of the Cabo 6, this is what I'm talking about. When they came, the police ambulance came for Shanquella's body, okay? They told them that she passed away due to alcohol poisoning. What did they do? They ran with that story. Okay. They told the parents that Shanquella died of alcohol poisoning. That story got all around. Next thing you know, because the friends came on back, they left her body there. Her family had to get money and get her body back over here. Well, by the time they get her body back, they notice it's a different story. She was swollen. Her head was swollen, bruises, all of that. Those people are not looking into what really happened over in some of these countries. They don't have the manpower. Okay? They're barely making it with resources. Remember, in the newspaper, in the articles, they were saying they need help to get lifeguards. You definitely need some lifeguards because what you have is a stand that says lifeguard station. Is no man there. Okay? So you clearly need some lifeguards on the beaches. Clearly. Okay, because no one was volunteering, I don't think, that day. So they're asking for help, for resources. They did not look into this, just like they didn't look into her death. And that's why no one paid the price for it over there or over here in the U.S. The same way with Malcolm Jamal Warner. Who's paying the price for it? Even if it was considered foul play. She definitely not going to pay whoever did it over here because it did not happen on U.S. soil. And who's going to hold that government accountable to get to the bottom of it? Are they going to seek out? Look, the Nicaraguan man, he is long gone. Okay, that man probably back in Nicaragua. I can't say it. He's gone. They will not ever find that man again. Okay. So if he was the cause of the actual death, a struggle or anything happened, he's gone. No one questioned him. So, I mean, what's supposed to happen? Like Eddie said, ain't nothing gonna happen. And I believe that too. All it is about really getting answers though at this point. But I read that one. Let's see. I can't see him or any father leaving their child to go serve. Who stayed with her? Right. Nobody. Well, it was supposed to be a fourth person there, according to her post. But notice when she gave the statement, the alleged statement, okay, to the police officer, she didn't name a fourth person. That's interesting. The autopsy came back too fast and there was no toxicology report. Exactly. Did he have anything in his system? Okay. Did they see any bruises or anything like that? Like, come on. This is why he was lured into a place where law enforcement is not thorough. Thank you. I thought those black rings on the opposite finger means they are in a partnership. Oh, I haven't heard that. Possibly. I don't know. I don't believe he would drive 4 hours to go to that isolated of the island or take his daughter there. It's too dangerous. Exactly. Mexico, Costa Rica, all them countries that don't seem to care about us. I know she is part Hispanic, but damn, okay. I don't think Malcolm would leave his daughter on the beach while he went swimming. Right. Asphyxiation. Right. That word. Hey, anonymously, welcome. Then paperwork state that Red Cross didn't come till the 24th and Malcolm passed on the 20th of July. Yes, y'all. And so those of you who did not, thank you for bringing that up. There's an American, a Red Cross ship that pulled up to the port that is supposed to come and provide services and help to that particular area. Okay. Now, Malcolm supposedly passed away on July the 20th. We found out about it on July 21st. The Red Cross came on the 24th. But I also one other thing I looked at was because I remember the police chief had said that allegedly the Red Cross, the ambulance, I should say, they get their reports from the ambulance. Well, in that country, it appeared as though the ambulances are ran by the Red Cross. I'm not sure of how true that is, but that was one thing that popped up was they provide the ambulance services. So I'm not sure if they have like, you know how some of there are some areas where they have tents and things like that they help. Maybe they have like a little remote clinic there or something, but that's who gives them information as well. They rely on the ambulance services. But this ship did not arrive until the 24th, so that was questionable too. And I wonder why a whole ship has to come there. I don't know. They said they found his body at the very bottom of the ocean, which I doubt. You need special equipment to retrieve his body from there. Right. Exactly. They said, okay. Oh my goodness. I still feel like they were at the water, either the school, and that's who was supposed to be watching her. Well, are the people from that camp, because we don't know if any of them traveled too. Those places don't do thorough investigations. Let's stop traveling to them until they learn to appreciate us. Okay. Thank you so much, Lolo. I appreciate that. Yes, y'all, I do have a whole book out here called The Common Thread. It is available on Amazon. Broken Neck, Poor Baby. Yep, that is so sad. Kanika Jenkins and Shanquella stories of straight ritual sacrifices. Ooh, that makes me mad about Kanika as well. They were so cold. They went to eat at Shanquella's mother's home while she was dead in Mexico. Yes, they were trying to find out what had she heard. They were nervous. And once her body came back and the family found out the truth, they quit going over there. Yeah. Bill Cosby's daughter died of pneumonia. Just like Kim Porter's. Right. And that was strange too. We must take into consideration he may have committed SI because his last statements like, if I am unalive tomorrow and for insurance purposes, they must say accidental. Who said that? His last statement said, "If I'm unalive tomorrow," he said that. Doki, I don't remember that. Where was that? Oh wow, I don't remember that. They don't care if Malcolm Jamal Warner was a celebrity. Nope, they don't. He got his check and cashed it. Who cashed the check, girl? Who cashed the check? Look, I need y'all to tell me who cashed the check and who said that if something happened to them. Was that Malcolm? And where was that? If they weren't married legally, they probably pissed her off. Most Latinas get married and desire it. He made her a baby mama. She probably wanted to marry legally. Exactly. Okay. Because she wouldn't get the assets. And it seems like her name is not on anything. Okay, allegedly. So she tried through the lawsuit. And like I said, I want to get more information about that lawsuit because, hey, it's still showing open. And it was last updated last April 2024. Okay. So what was that about? That was quite interesting. Thank you, Lolo. She has put my coffee link in the chat if you're interested in purchasing a coffee. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you are welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, and my Cash App is listed there as well. I do want to give a shout out and thanks to Jay for gifting 10 memberships today. And also special shout out to Good Vibes for being a sponsor for today's live. Thank you, ladies, so much. Let's see. I don't know about him saying that he loved life and his child. Right. Now, I can say also, I was looking at an interview he did with Sherry Shepherd. And he did one of the interviews 2 years ago, and then he did one interview 5 months ago with Sherry Shepherd. And in one of the interviews, because she asked him, has he, does he talk to Felicia Rashad a lot? And he said, well, I do contact her, and I just need her, to talk to her and so forth. And he stated that he was dealing with hopelessness. And I was like, wow, a couple of times in his life. And she gave him some very good advice about, with the good, you're always going to have darkness. And he said throughout his life, when he does have those bouts of hopelessness, he thinks back to the encouragement, the words of wisdom she gave him, and he holds on to that. He said that the hopelessness feeling that he had did not completely go away, but he was having less bouts of it. I was like, wow. I mean, I found that interesting because, y'all, you never know what these celebrities are going through, in which mental health is so important. Even him admitting that, it showed that, he's famous. He's a celebrity. He has money. He has a child, wife, nice houses, and acting jobs and so forth. But he too dealt with bouts of hopelessness. Okay. So I just found that quite interesting. Could there have been some accusations between him and the Nicaraguan doctor, whom I believe is the wife's friend's husband? Okay. Or resentment? And that's possible. That is very much so possible. Like, did she know that doctor? That would definitely be something to think about. Does she know that doctor? Because the doctor is the one that allegedly discharged the Nicaraguan guy from the hospital. And that's not even a hospital he practices at. Okay. So how are you putting your name? Yeah, that's a good point. How are you putting your name to that? And then these are the names that we see in the articles. And people just run with it. They don't check anything out. Just because TMZ says it or US Weekly says it, it must be true. Yeah, everything is allegedly. Okay. The resort they were staying at was for mentally health. If you Google it, which one? Which resort were they staying at? Because I don't know if they said a definite resort. Now I do remember that in her post when she was looking for a place that provided chef services, I do recall um, that the anonymous person came up under there and was in that area. We're staying at the Occidental Tamarindo, okay? And she said, well, send me the link. And that is a resort. So if she did stay at that resort is only 15 to 20 minutes away from Playa Grande, where his body was found. But I don't know for sure. I mean, have they ever said the exact resort that he stayed at? I don't recall seeing that. I could be wrong. I wonder what was he hopeless about. I went through that during COVID. I don't know. He didn't really say. He didn't really say. But he probably dealt with some things like in his life, his mental health and so forth. He didn't want to, and even in the clip that we saw, and I'm gonna pull that back up to show a little of that. He was even talking about, his relationships. He had long-term relationships, but I don't think he knew what he really wanted in that. And it could have been a fear thing. Maybe he felt inadequate. We just never know. Some of these people that we look up to and their mentors and so forth, they also deal with insecurities or they deal with hopelessness or, fear and so forth. We just never know. So let me pull that snippet back up for those of you who did not see it earlier. Let's see. So y'all can hear that part too.
At Go Auto, we know car insurance can be expensive. The good news is, it doesn't have to.
But yes, he didn't want to mess up and lose half half of what he had, which could have been an underlying reason of why not make that just official. You know what I'm saying? Um, wow. So yeah, I mean, and if it wasn't legal, it would be hard for her to get anything. But like I said, I'm curious to know about this lawsuit, um, and why it's still showing open. And it was last updated last year because I thought all of that had been closed out. And we're going to get into that lawsuit too, because I was reading it. And to me, because I know she had filed it due to medical negligence and loss of consortium. To me, when I read some of the details, y'all, I thought she had a good lawsuit. I thought that was some negligence there. Okay. I was like, yeah. So I'm not sure if it was one of those things where they didn't respond in time and it was a default judgment or something like that. But the details that were provided did look like the hospital did not, and this is just my opinion, when she tried to tell them about something, they didn't look into it thoroughly enough. Okay. And it ended up getting worse. And she had to go back to the hospital. Okay. So to me, hey, I think she should have gotten compensated for that. Okay. He was at Playa Cocos Resort. Okay, let's see. Okay, Playa Cocos. Okay, I'll look into that. I never knew which one they went to, which resort. Playa Cocos. Okay. Best hotels in Playa Cocos, Costa Rica. Okay. Let's see. The key is the Nicaragua man. The doctor got him out of there in a hurry. Why wouldn't he hang around to give us account of things? Thank you, good vibes. That part. Okay. That part. That's what I'm talking about too. I heard her mom's family is from Costa Rica. I don't know. I heard that too, that they possibly allegedly had a business there, Barbara. Mm. He also dated Karen White, actress from Lean on Me, and Malcolm and Eddie. Yes, yes, he did. I met him about 29 years ago at a Speak Easy. My girlfriend knows him. He has a commanding presence and plays the guitar very well. He seemed the same way in person as television nice. Yes, he does seem like he's an all around just nice guy. And you know, y'all, while I was looking at Regina King had her own money. Yeah, she does. Um, while I was looking at some of the videos and things, I was kind of mad at myself for not really, Michael, turn it down, for not really knowing about some of this. Like I had known he, had been on Sherry. And it could be I spent a lot of time sometimes on YouTube and I watched certain shows and just working. I didn't know he played the guitar. I didn't know he had a new podcast. And some of this he just announced this year. And I said, well, where was I? Because I would have loved to support and really get to know that side before he passed away. And now I'm just now, seeing a lot of the things that he was working on. I didn't even know he was on a resident. Okay. Did he ever get over Michelle Thomas? Tenisha favors her. And I know that friend that introduced them saw it. I don't think she favors her, in my opinion. But that's a good point. That could have been a hard one for him and the way it ended. Now, I don't know about his wife, about his now wife. Okay, got you. 20 years ago. Right. Was the friend that introduced them Kia or Tempest? Oh, I don't know. He didn't say. Black female maternity deaths have been high in California hospitals. Oh, really? Wow. Let's see, they were not married. That's why his mom was in charge of his final remains. Right. And that's a good point, Barbara. Like, that's a tell-all right there. If his mom is over everything, then that's a tell-all because it will usually be the wife. Okay. So that's definitely a telltale sign of whether he was really married or not. And see, that's another issue that they probably know will come out. Okay, because everyone was assuming, oh, he's married and so forth. Well, if all of that comes out, then the very thing that he was trying to keep private is going to come out, that he was not really married, officially married to her legally. Wow. I don't know. This is quite interesting. And I know that Eddie Griffin is going to pretty much get some backlash for that. But hey, I'm glad that he stood up for what he believed and said something, because a lot of them are probably thinking it. And we know it's definitely a lot of people over here on YouTube and even Facebook that's really starting to pick up on it as well. And so I'm glad about that because I just want justice for him, and for what he went through. Like, be fair about it. Let it be a fair and thorough investigation. He deserves that, in my opinion. Me too. I did not realize how deep his poetry, but I'm enjoying reading up on him now. Right, right. Very he was very gifted. Yes, please share the live. Thank you, Lolo. Supposedly, yes, anonymously. Yes, Pamela Warner. Yep. So, woo, y'all, this is crazy. All right, y'all. It has been a great live, and Yes, I agree with Eddie too. I agree with Eddie, and I appreciate each and every one of you all for joining on today. Make sure you hit the like button, that is for free. Also, if you would like to support the channel, there are various ways that you can support in the chat. And like I said, shout out and thanks to everyone. Good Vibes and Jay for being sponsors. Shout out to the moderators, Shelly Shells, Lolo, and Dreamy Girl on today. Thank you. Shout out to all the mods. Why lie about being married? Malcolm really did talk about it. Everybody was surprised to know after his death. And you know, it could have been also for the purposes of, because they had a child, you know, some people want to have that persona and image, that we're a family unit, you know. So it could have been that, and that just could have been the reason why I didn't put a lot of info out there. Because guess what? If he had put her name out there, people probably could have casually just looked her up, like, who is this girlfriend? Who is this wife? You know, and sometimes being private can be to your detriment also, because people don't know who they are. And that could be a bad thing in a bad situation. You know, who was it? We don't know. We ain't never seen it, never talked to. Okay, so that's not always good. Okay, the mom knows Malcolm was not legally married, which is why she is in charge of the funeral arrangements. Right? Okay. Ooh, y'all, this thing, it just makes me so nervous for some reason with all of this, because I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is really sad that it has gotten to this point. It really has. But I'll be looking for paperwork. Party man, come on back. Okay, because we know he has really been looking into some things. And I want to hear the rest of it. Okay. But y'all have a great evening. Thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure y'all go and look at the shorts and the other videos that I posted on today as well. Thank y'all, and until next time, be blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like, share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.